All right, we have another Disney Plus show on the streaming platform coming from Marvel Studios. Is it any good? Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. All right, guys, now we have Eyes of Wakanda. It is a TV miniseries on Disney Plus 2025. This is being directed by Mr. Todd Harris. Unfortunately, there is no picture to see what the gentleman looks like, but if we scroll down and look at his filmography, he has been working with Marvel a ton in the art department. This is his first feature or TV series that he has directed. If you see right here, it says Eyes of Wakanda, but he does have 69 credits in the art department that ranges, like I said, all over Marvel Studios. We got Thunderbolts. We also have What If, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Hawkeye, Shang-Chi, Black Widow. You can see, and also Sinners, John Wick 4, Mufasa. You know, he has a nice filmography right there. But if you are a fan of Todd Harris and familiar with any of his work, please let me know down in the comment section below. Now, when it comes to my expectations for Eyes of Wakanda, they were extremely low. And that's mainly because of the marketing and the push that Marvel Studios Disney has put behind this series. It hasn't been that much. This comes out August 1st, and it was supposed to come out later in August, but they upped the release by 2 or 3 weeks. And we didn't even get a trailer for the show, for the series, until like a few days or a week before it's released that is out now. And so it really just didn't seem like Marvel had that much faith in this series. And to be honest with you, that's a darn shame. You want a studio to be proud about their product, and it just didn't seem like the case. Now, I was interested in this because it does have to do with Wakanda, and Black Panther is one of my favorite movies in the whole MCU. Not my favorite, but it is up there, definitely in the top 10. But I was also held back a little bit because there is no Black Panther. There is no T'Challa. There is no T'Chaka or Shuri or Queen Ramonda or any of these other characters that I am familiar with from any Black Panther comic. I just didn't know what this was about. It just seemed like these were the backup characters that the general audience, or at least myself, would not be that interested in. And so I was interested because, look, it's Wakanda. I like Wakanda. And of course, I like Black people. And everybody wants to see people that look like them on the TV screen or up on the big screen, but I still just didn't have that much hope. So before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this series, Eyes of Wakanda, is all about. Wakandan warriors who throughout history have traveled the world to retrieve dangerous Vibranium artifacts. All right, well, guys, first I want to let you know that this is an anthology series coming in at 4 episodes, and each episode is no longer than 30 minutes. That is the longest episode, which is the first, coming in at 30 minutes. Episode 2 is 29, episode 3 is 28, and episode 4 is 27 minutes. So just on that alone, this is an easy binge watch, less than 2 hours of television that you don't even have to go to the theater to see. You can stream this in the convenience of your own home, press pause, get your snacks, your libations, all of that good stuff. And that's one of the first things that I really do like about the series is just how short it is. Easy to follow and easy to watch. It is not necessary for you to see the 2018 film Black Panther or the sequel Wakanda Forever, which came out in 2022. So if you know nothing about this lore, you can go in blind and be just fine. However, it will help if you are somewhat familiar with the whole backstory of Wakanda and how much vibranium means to the country. But again, it's not completely necessary for you to get a good comprehension. What I also like about the series is the title Eyes of Wakanda, because after you see the series, it does have a good meaning and what it references. This series, Eyes of Wakanda, is not about Black Panther. It is not about T'Challa. It is not about T'Chaka. It is not about any character that you are familiar with, and I want to make sure that you are aware of that. This series focuses on more of the Dora Milaje and the War Dogs. Those are the agents that actually go out into the world on various missions for Wakanda to retrieve artifacts or just do whatever they have to do to get a foot ahead on everybody else in the world so that we're never ever taken advantage of. Now, while I really did enjoy the 2018 film Black Panther, I was disappointed with the sequel, Wakanda Forever. I'm not going to go into a deep dive as of why. You can go check out my number of reviews I have on my channel for that. But one of the things that was disappointing, besides them killing the queen, is that it was called Wakanda Forever. It was a sequel, but they did not expound on the world of Wakanda. We didn't know anything new about the country that we wasn't aware of in the past. Instead, they just wanted to introduce new characters like Riri Williams or Talocan with Namor and his civilization, and also introducing new Dora Milaje characters instead of exploring the ones that we already know, like Ayo and Okoye. So you would think with Eyes of Wakanda, that's not even live action, that they would explore more of Wakanda, and we can know about the politics, the religion, the spirituality, the economics, the schooling, and how they grow food, the culture, etc. But that's not the case with this Eyes of Wakanda series at all. Like I said, it focuses on more of the Dora Milaje and the War Dogs. And after seeing it again, I have to say that I do like that approach, especially with this being an animated series and not live action. I kind of feel like this was a test phase to see what audiences liked and didn't like, how they didn't put that much time or energy into it and wanted to save it for when they had more concrete understanding of what could work with the general public. But that's not a bad thing either. With Kevin Feige recently coming out saying that after Secret Wars, they're going to reboot/reset the MCU, I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered. Let's not put that much emphasis or energy into this and wait until we have a stronger foundation to really give fans what they want and long for. And that's not to say that this series is bad, because it's not. Guys, I actually really did enjoy this series. A recent Disney Plus series that we had as of late was Ironheart. And I did give Ironheart an 8 out of 10 initially, but after watching it a second time, I think I have to lower that down to a 7 out of 10. But I can honestly say that I did enjoy Eyes of Wakanda more than Ironheart. I also enjoyed Eyes of Wakanda more than What If Season 2. If I enjoyed it more than What If Season 1, I don't know, that's a toss-up right there. I would really have to think about it, and it's been a while since I've seen that series, but at the very least, this is very, very entertaining. These characters are the Eyes of Wakanda. They go out, do their missions in the world, and come back to Wakanda and report everything that they found, just to make sure that, again, Wakanda stays on top. And even if you've never seen anything that has to do with Black Panther or Wakanda, I think that it's pretty known that Wakanda is the most technologically advanced country in the whole world. So with that, you would think that we're better with every aspect of life across the board. And that's not the case. While we have the most advanced technology, and I said we like I'm Wakandan, that does not mean that we're the most advanced as far as morals are concerned. This series does show that Wakanda is not perfect. They do have issues, and they need to work things out like everybody else. They have drama too. And I like that. It humanizes the characters of the country and helps me attach myself to them just a little bit more. And what I also appreciate is that they showcase what is the aftermath of all of these agents when they come back on these missions. And they're not all the same. One mission could last from 3 to 6 months versus 10 years. Okay, if you're just gone for 3 to 6 months, you can come back to Wakanda and the adjustments are fine. You have your debriefing, you go on about your day and go back to your family and have a good old time. But what if you're going on for 5 or 10 years? You're not going to have the same connection that you had with Wakanda in the past before you left. You're going to have a better connection with the outside world and may not want to come back to Wakanda, or may have PTSD and may need more debriefing than your other colleagues because you've been gone for so long. You can really feel like the way the world is ran outside of Wakanda is better than what they're doing inside of Wakanda. And that could make you want to possibly betray your own people or your country. All of these ideas are explored in this series. And again, I found it very, very fascinating. Again, there are really no main characters as far as the king and queen of the throne. This is focusing on, like I said, the war dogs, generals, lieutenants, etc. And just to see what their level of authority is and how much power they have within the kingdom. And this also covers a vast timeline. One episode was like 1200 BC, another one was 1400 AD. So that's just hundreds and thousands of years right there in different parts of the world, different parts of Africa, different parts of Asia, North America, South America. I mean, they really do go around the globe in this series, different timelines. So that's another great aspect as well. And the action and choreography was pretty nice too. I was entertained, had a couple of edgy seat moments. I was like, damn, they are really throwing hands right here. And I also love how they showed the different examples of how you can use Vibranium for offense, defense, or whatever else. I did love that. During one of the action scenes, I was thinking to myself, wow, how would this look if this was actually filmed in live action? This would be some of the best choreography that we received in the MCU. Now, I think it goes without saying that choreography and or action for the most part is always better in an animated feature or series other than live action, just because you can do more. And it's hard to craft that type of scene together with real people, but there's still no takeaway on how great it was. I was trying to compare this to What If, and I think I remember in the final episode where there was all tag teaming Ultron, just left and right, bing, 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 hit him with attack after attack after attack. That was like a jump out of my seat moment while I was watching that series. There isn't anything like that in this series as far as one particular moment, but it was still damn good and I enjoyed myself, especially with just not the hand-to-hand or weapon-to-weapon combat, but how other characters would use the environments to their advantage. Like whatever was around, they're going to use it as a weapon or a defense tool, and that's always super dope to me. And after a while, I really started to care about the characters as well and how they were fleshed out. I mean, I was really rooting for them and felt all of their convictions. But guys, those are the things that really did work for me in this series. Now let me transition to some things that didn't so much. And the first being is, I just said that after a while, I was really able to connect with the characters, but that wasn't the case with the first 2 episodes. I just didn't really care. I mean, I was entertained with what was going on, but at the same time, I didn't care. It just, whether they lived or died, I would have been able to keep moving and not felt anything at all. However, that's not the case with episode 3 and 4. Episode 1 and 2 are the worst episode, and I don't even want to say it like that. Episode 1 and 2 are my least favorite. Episode 3 and 4 are my favorite. And episode 2 was my least favorite. I will just say that it wasn't bad or anything. It's just I did not have an emotional connection with the characters doing these scenes for some reason, but that wasn't the case with episodes 3 and 4. And I just also have to say, this may be nitpicking, but with the first 2 episodes, it did take me a while to really get involved, to dial into the story that was going on. With the first episode, it took me about a good 5 minutes to where I was like, okay, I see where we're going with this. Now let's do this. I'm locked in. In the second episode, it took me at least halfway through. I just didn't care what was going on until about halfway through the midpoint. And then that's when I started to care. But again, that wasn't the case with episodes 3 and 4. It is a shame that there was not that much marketing as far as this series is concerned. It's like Marvel was embarrassed by this and just wanted to sweep it under the rug and just move on and be like, okay, yeah, well, that Wakanda, whatever show it is, okay, yeah, we don't know about that. We're moving on to Wonder Man or Avengers Doomsday. But while this wasn't the best show in the world, it was still really good. It was still really entertaining. And I think everybody involved should be proud of themselves. And I almost forgot to mention, I really did like the score in this as well. Marvel has been kind of bland with their scores. I mean, DC has always been winning that race to me, but Michael Giacchino, who has been with Marvel for a while, he really did his thing with Fantastic Four, The First Steps. And also we have this composer, Hisham Nazi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Egyptian composer. He did pretty good as well. A lot of the melodies, beats, music composition really did stand out in this series. So I will go ahead and give my rating for this series at the very end. But for now, guys, that is just my opinion. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share the video, all that good stuff. And if I had to rate Eyes of Wakanda out of a 1 out of 10, I would actually give it an 8 out of 10. Yes, an 8 out of 10. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace. And I'll see you next time.